Imagine walking down a quiet London street and suddenly being swept away not by rain or river, but by a tsunami of beer. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, in 1814, it turned into an absolute nightmare. This is one of the most bizarre facts from history a day, when London literally drowned in beer. Let's travel back to early 19th century London, a place filled with horse-drawn carts, the constant haze of coal smoke, and a pub on nearly every corner. At the heart of this bustling city, on Tottenham Court Road, stood the Moe and Company Brewery. Now, this wasn't just any old brewery, it was one of the biggest beer producers in all of England. Inside, it housed enormous vats of porter beer, and when I say enormous, I mean it. One of them held over 1.4 million pints. Here's a strange fact for you. These vats were held together by massive iron hoops, each one large enough to encircle a small house. But the weirdest part, 4 months leading up to the disaster, people reported hearing strange creaks and groans coming from the tanks. Still, no one thought much of it, just another peculiar sound in the life of a brewery. That's where the truly unbelievable facts begin. This wasn't just a brewing accident waiting to happen. It was a ticking time bomb. Situated right beneath the brewery were poor tenements, tiny homes where families lived crammed together, wall to wall. Children played in the shadow of the brewery walls, and mothers cooked meals just meters away from those monstrous, groaning barrels. One slight failure, one tiny crack, was all it would take to unleash absolute chaos, and that's exactly what happened. On October 17, 1814, at around 6 p.m., one of the massive vats suddenly burst. The force was so immense that the iron hoops snapped like twigs. The initial explosion triggered a catastrophic chain reaction, causing the nearby vats to collapse like dominoes. In a matter of seconds, more than 1.4 million liters of beer exploded outward, forming a terrifying 15-foot high wave of dark porter that surged through the streets. This wasn't just a flood, it was a beer tsunami. The wave smashed through walls, crumbled houses, and caught people completely off guard. And this is where the dark facts of this truly weird story emerge. 8 people lost their lives. Some drowned in the deluge, while others were crushed by collapsing buildings. One pub, ironically named the Tavistock Arms, was completely destroyed, trapping the young barmaid under the rubble. Witnesses later described the overpowering smell of beer filling the air for days. And here's a curious fact that speaks to human desperation and survival instinct. People were seen trying to scoop up the beer from the gutters with pots, pans, and anything else they could find. This entire tragedy wasn't caused by war, plague, or a natural disaster. It was born from the human thirst for drink. Weird Science tells us that the pressure inside that single vat had reached over 200,000 pounds of force, more than enough to blast through solid brick walls. That's not just a bizarre story, it's a chilling mystery of industrial engineering gone terribly wrong. Now, you might assume the brewery was ruined and held responsible for the devastation. But here's the strange but true twist. No one was punished. A court declared the flood an act of God. Imagine that, a river of beer bursting through the streets, taking lives, and yet no one was held accountable. Even weirder, the brewery resumed its operations shortly after the incident. Locals would joke that the beer never tasted the same again, but for the families of the victims, it was a bitter and tragic reminder. Later analysis, a bit of science fact, revealed that the vats were made from wood reinforced with iron hoops, a fundamentally unstable design, especially under the extreme pressure of fermentation. It was a weird science problem that nobody had anticipated at the time. And if you want some brain facts to chew on, psychologists note that the human mind often remembers strange or sensory-rich disasters for a very long time. Survivors of the beer flood described the smell and the terrifying sound of the explosion for decades afterward. That's how creepy facts and human body facts can meet in a single, tragic event memory stored through the powerful combination of trauma and scent. This flood remains one of London's most unusual facts of industrial history, a bizarre mix of human error, physics, and a shocking lack of safety standards. The Great London Beer Flood is a stark reminder that even something as seemingly joyful as beer can turn deadly under the right circumstances. It's one of those bizarre stories that sound like pure fiction, but are, in fact, unbelievable but true. From the physics of pressure to the resilience of the human mind, this tragedy bridges the gap between what we might consider fun facts and truly dark facts. So, the next time you open a cold one, take a moment to remember history once saw a city drown in it. This is Oddly True, bringing you the weirdest true stories from across our strange universe. If you enjoyed this dive into a bizarre chapter of history, don't forget to like, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more weird truths. Thanks for watching.